Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to PubShorts episode 85, titled Knives Out. We don't have Knives Out, but we have themed the episode Knives Out based on a favorite Radiohead song of ours. My name is Dr. KK. I am the innovation officer at Trinka in Nago, and I have with me Tony. Hi, Tony.
Hello, good morning, world. I'm Tony O'Rourke. I apologise if I sound a little bit. My voice is a little bit different this morning. I decided this is the weekend to get hay fever, and I haven't had hay fever like this since I was a child. So
Yeah.
the pollen must be very high in the UK at the moment. And
Right.
you may ask yourself, why have we named this episode after one of the best songs by the Oxford fantastic group Radiohead, who I miss very much. I think hopefully they'll bring out another record soon. Well, it borrows a title because this episode, and well done to the person who wrote this, cuts through the clutter of fake citations like a sharp knife. And so it cut through the clutter of fake citations and AI tweaked manuscripts flooding biomedical research, whether it's paper mill pollution in systematic reviews, chatbot fingerprints in millions of abstracts. And we're exploring how scholars need to wield sharp tools to slice away fraud and reveal the genuine work beneath. Like a skilled surgeon.
Very well spoken, Tony. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better introduction to the show.
I couldn't have written a better abstract.
All right. With that, so quick plug. PubShorts is a weekly episodic series, and you can find all the previous 84 episodes on our YouTube channel, which is the Inago YouTube channel, under the PubShorts playlist. And we would encourage you to listen to, because I'm sure that you've had long weekends where you do not have absolutely anything planned, and in such
need a very long weekend to listen to all of these episodes, though.
Yes. So please block yourself like 4 days over a weekend, and do not even plan to sleep. Just watch through all the episodes, and you will get entertained and informed about the.
Can I just add that as a caveat? Please do get some sleep. Don't listen to KK. Get some sleep. Make sure you have rest between episodes. Rest is important.
Yes, considering that the last episode that we broadcast was too much information, because we do try to cover a lot of scholarly publishing related articles, and this one is all about AI and fake citations and AI content detection. So, Tony, are you ready for the?
I am ready. I was just thinking, over the 84 episodes, we've covered something like 1,000 articles since we started, 1,000 pieces of information, and it's a lot of content. So I do urge you to, if you have a real research interest in this area, then there's lots of content that you'll find relevant.
Excellent.
Yes, I am ready. Please carry on.
Right. So the first story is from JAMA Network, and it is an original investigation titled Citation Contamination by Paper Mill Articles in Systematic Reviews of the Life Sciences. So I think, Tony, a couple of episodes ago, we covered how AI is helping let's say individuals do systematic citations at breakneck speeds, much more efficiency. This is the other side of it. So the systematic reviews are gold standard in terms of medical evidence, and their integrity is at risk due to citation contamination from paper mills.
And it's important to stress this is really important in medicine, for example, particularly in medicine. A systematic review is kind of core, because what a systematic review does is it comprehensively brings together all the research that sort of synthesizes all available research on a search topic. So it's kind of like a stake in the ground, in a sense. It's a milestone. If you have a systematic review that's been accepted, it's because that the publisher, the editor, whoever believes that piece of research or that article reflects the science as we know it.
Right. So the problem that we are facing right now is that there are paper mill articles contaminating these systematic reviews. And so paper mills are those for-profit organizations who produce fake research articles, and sometimes they get included in these reviews. And this study has found that 0.15% of about 200,000 reviews included retracted articles from paper mills. And most such contaminated...
What's that, about 300?
About
300 papers, it's a lot.
And most contaminated reviews were in oncology, and authors from China unfortunately cited the most paper mill articles. I guess they need more education in terms of finding out which is a paper mill article, which is a retracted article, and so on and so forth. And the overall message of the study is that we need to have improved screening practices to prevent contamination, which is why there needs to be automation, and there is an automation that we make, Tony, that helps researchers as well as if organizations.
Absolutely. The reality is, unfortunately, there are good actors, there are bad actors in this space, and publishers, a journal is supposed to reflect the science, the state of the art of that particular subject area, as the audience understands it, as they understand it. So increasingly, it's becoming increasingly difficult to detect bad reviews or fake reviews. So therefore, we've created a tool called Reference Quality Checker, which will allow a publisher to be able to identify, what is a legitimate review or not.
Right. Excellent. So we do have something called as a citation quality check, which evaluates the quality of the citation. The endless references actually of a manuscript, and if you want to learn more about it, you can visit trinka.ai and make yourself an account and use it and let us know what you think of it, because we've got very good reviews coming from researchers as well as some publishers who have started to trial these applications out, and this is one good way
going beyond trial, KK, with the publishers who are actively using these tools, will be using these tools as part of their workflows.
Yeah, excellent. And this is one way to weed out at least the retracted references and maybe even paper mill articles, so that you and your research can be, your research output can be as high quality from the point of view of citation. So please, we encourage you to check it out. Go to trinka.ai, make yourself an account, and check out the citation quality checker. So Tony, are you ready for the next manuscript? Because we have a personal sort of an anecdotal story to sort of link us to that. So apparently, Tony, you were trying to learn machine learning over the last weekend, and you stumbled on a textbook called Mastering Machine Learning. Is this true?
Gosh, who told you that?
Well, I guess I must not have referred to the right sources. But anyway, so this is a story that I think, Tony, you pinged me about.
Yeah, no, I did. It kind of struck me as this is this is the sort of story that publishers need to take very seriously.
Right.
This is a book that was published by a leading publisher, where they identified something like 18. I think they said something like 18 of the 46 citations in the book were based on a tip from a reader. They checked 18 of the 46 citations in the book, and 2/3 of them either did not exist or had substantial errors. Now, for me, as a former publisher, that for me, is kind of sacrosanct. Is checking the references, checking the quality of what material they produce, because every negative aspect, has a negative aspect on the brand. So I would, whoever's published, I'm sure they already are, to be going back and questioning their policies and their processes in order to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Right. Thanks, Tony, for summarizing. So some other notes that I have is that some researchers have confirmed that their cited works were either fake or contain substantial errors, and issues with large language models like ChatGPT can generate fake looking fake citations which are very authentic looking. And this book's author, who seems to be have an Indian origin, requested more time to respond to the queries, and Springer Nature is investigating and emphasizes submissions must have human oversight, and LLM generated citations are difficult to detect, and this is why human oversight in terms of review is very important. And we've long wanted, as in the sense we've argued for human oversight in any automated solutions that publishers might adopt, including book publishing, right, Tony?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the moment it's essential that there's some kind of fallback, some kind of safety mechanism to verify references and other things, of course.
Right. Moving on to the next article. This is an interesting preprint published in Archive under Computer Science. It is titled "What Shapes a Writer's Decision to Disclose AI Use." I think we talked about the several aspects of disclosure in the past several weeks. So this paper synthesizes procedural, social, and personal factors shaping writers' choice to disclose AI use, and it offers an integrative framework for understanding and promoting transparency in human AI co-authored content. And so the context to this, why we are talking about, is that Tony, we've been talking about responsible AI movement, which helps to sort of educate researchers as well as publishers to us. I mean, in a different way, to make to ensure that their guidelines regarding AI assistance in the context of scholarly outputs, we need to have clear classification guidelines as well as transparency related or disclosure related guidelines, which are inconsistent across publishers, as we have ourselves discovered during this. And this is one other reason. So your thoughts on this, please.
No, I mean, this for me, it's a good article. It supports, it helps to understand why authors are using AI, And I think breaking into those categories is helpful.
Mm.
But again, it just reinforces the need for guardrails and also for the AI, responsible AI movement in
Right.
terms of understanding what best practice should be.
Right. There are some finer points that I think it'll be too complex for us to discuss in this podcast. So I'm skipping, but we encourage you to read this article if you're interested, especially the three sort of groups: procedural factors, social factors, and personal factors.
Yeah.
And we will leave a link to all the articles that we cover, all the stories that we cover in the YouTube description, and you can check it out and let us know what you thought of it as well. So Tony,
Yeah.
moving on to the next story, which is now we are entering the AI content detection realm. It is a news story published earlier this month titled Signs of AI Generated Text Found in 14% of Biomedical Abstracts Last Year. And it's such a staggering amount. So let me just summarize. There are I think four related stories. So we'll discuss, little aspects of it across these stories. So this is a study conducted. It's a research article, a research study conducted on the basis of content that was the abstract content of biomedical research papers, and it was scanned for the prevalence of AI generated, let's say AI fingerprints, and 14% of these abstracts had it. So it's from PubMed, and common AI generated words included unparalleled and invaluable. These were some of the sort of words that were found, and the research suggests that AI tools are widely used in academic writing, I think it's not surprising at all. But at the same time, we need sort of validation in terms of actual research being conducted, and AI use in research papers is increasing, especially in certain countries and certain fields, and concerns exist about the integrity and disclosure of AI usage in writing. And there are a list of 454 excess words that I'll take you through, but I'll now take a pause and ask you for
No,
your thoughts.
please don't go through all 454 excess
We
words.
will not. But what are your thoughts on this? Are you alarmed at the
Well,
14%?
I'm surprised, and I'm not surprised. The fact it's perhaps it's only 14% is maybe surprising. I kind of expected it to be slightly higher. But
Right.
listen, from a grammatical point of view, I am not a big fan of excess words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people, particularly the use of excess words in scholarly content. There's no need for it.
Right.
Plain English is absolutely the bare minimum.
Right. So we mentioned. So New York Times had a nice. So these are some of the words that have been found more frequently, and you can see these are words that are perfectly permissible in English, but the frequency of their use and the context that they're being used is
Yeah,
increasing, and that is the reason
yeah,
why. So another way to sort of look at it, these are adjectives or nouns of verbs in what we refer to as Tony tortured phrases, which are basically
yeah,
again signs of AI generated content, and
yeah,
there is a need for detecting such words and such phrases, and that is the reason why we have developed a detector for such phrases, and it will also include now these terms based on the frequency that we'll find in. This
yeah.
is a new research integrity offering that we are developing, and will be soon available to publishers. Your thoughts on this, Tony? Looking at this list.
Um, yeah, again, helpful. I'm not sure how a publisher is supposed to use this information.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you say, these are words that are perfectly legitimate, but clearly their excessive use
Right.
in machine generated text is a concern.
Right, and the best article, I think, best title, I think, is in this. This is Science Advances. This is the actual research paper itself. So Nature article was a story about this paper. So the title of the paper is the most wonderful thing, indicating the AI generated content itself. So it's titled "Delving into LLM assisted writing in biomedical publications through excess vocabulary." And then the key word is obviously delving, because that is very commonly in AI, ChatGPT generated content, and it's one of those words which are in the 454 words as well. So
Oh, do you think they picked that on purpose?
yeah, I'm sure that they did. I mean, they must have done it to self-referential, and also indicate. It's very easy to sort of remember the research because it starts with the word delving, which is one of those fingerprint words. Yeah. So, interestingly, this research also, I mean, one other point that I have is that research raises concerns about the accuracy and biases introduced by LLM generated text. That's another, I mean, the words can be fine and their
Yeah,
meaning, if they don't change. But because authors might be using LLMs to write content without realizing that this is happening, without realizing that the biases inherent in LLMs can be accidentally put into their content that they're trying to submit for publishing. So this is another reason why we have the responsible AI movement, where our goal is to educate everybody in scholarly publishing field,
Yeah.
the need for understanding how AI assist, what AI assistance is, what it can do, what are the different types of AI
And
assistance.
what it shouldn't do.
Yes, and what are the different types of content that you can generate, and how should you disclose? All of this is what you are in conversations with several publishers in terms of
Yeah.
getting on board and
Yeah.
pushing this message. Any further thoughts on this, Tony?
No, these last two or three articles, you're thinking about how increasingly AI has been used to generate false references, how AI has been used to generate the content itself. It's like we're creating this new category of fictional science. It's not based on any reality at all. It's based on some kind of machine-generated nonsense. No, it's wonderful to be able to highlight this because it shows just how important and how serious this is.
Yeah.
And I hope every publisher has processes in place. Every organisation that's understanding research grants and trying to determine whether research grants will be made available have processes in place to be able to understand, what's real and what's fake. And again, it just for me, it reinforces the need for that responsible AI movement in terms of communicating best practice.
And just for, I mean, because I encountered another article from FIS.org, massive study detects AI fingerprints in millions of scientific papers. This has some interesting graphs if you're interested, but it's pretty much the same thing that we're covering, another slice of it. And it's just, it blew up, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And what it reminds me is that all the research integrity automation that we keep on talking about, the need for it, is more and more relevant as we go more go deeper into the AI assistance era. I think we are already in the second or third year of it, and we need such assistance, and that's why we are passionate in terms of, at least our product teams are working on such problems and developing solutions that can be integrated into publishers' workflows before submission, maybe during the post processing stage, maybe during peer review. We want to provide publishers and all the stakeholders in the publishing ecosystem with tools that can help them detect these problems beforehand, right, Tony?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I could have said it by myself. Exactly why these tools are being developed is to support the publisher in terms of creating, putting the right kind of rigorous checks in place to determine that material doesn't slip through the net.
Right, Tony, if a publisher is listening in, or somebody from the publisher is listening in, and they are interested in knowing more about these solutions, where would you guide them to?
I'd urge them just to contact me directly at tonyo@inago.com, and we can start the conversation.
Excellent. And you can also find out more about our AI automations by visiting inago.com /publishers, where we list everything that we are developing.
We can, but contact me first.
Yeah. Okay. That's Tony saying. And also, if you're interested in knowing more about our AI peer review assistant, you can visit inago.com /publishers, or write to Tony, who will love to have a conversation with you. So, Tony, before moving on to the next article, would you agree that we both delve into the deep issues related to AI and scholarly publishing, and we provide invaluable content, and it's a critical listening experience for the listener? Would you agree with all
Am I
that?
talking to an AI at the moment?
No, you are not. So you know what? Some of the intros that you so wonderfully read out seem to be robotic as well. But we need to work on that.
Yeah. Well done. Thank you for highlighting that for this audience.
All right. So going to the next story. This is called this title: Chinese students are using AI to beat AI detectors, which is not surprising. Chinese universities are using AI detectors to check student thesis. I think, Tony, we have covered this story a couple of episodes ago, which has led to panic among students. Some students are experiencing false positive, which is a classical thing in AI content detection, where their original work, the work that they themselves have written, gets flagged as AI generated. And to combat this, a whole industry of AI tools has emerged, helping students to outsmart these detectors. So the common theme of all of this is to dumb things down, Tony, as in you create text using AI, and then you you sort of artificial sort of manually dumb it down by making mistakes and making sure that it does not sound like AI content itself. So despite writing papers themselves, students are going through these false detective detection problems, and obviously that is a mark on their their own sort of pride and integrity themselves when they are actually doing the right thing but being flagged for positive AI content. And now they are also being forced, students are also being forced to pay for additional services that will help them dumb their AI generated content down. So it's a new sub industry that is developing, especially in
Yeah,
China, which is
and
why. Yeah, go on.
sorry, I'm just going to say, which is why we've developed DocuMark.
Yeah.
The DocuMark products, and listen, this isn't an ad, but I'll mention it anyway. The DocuMark product is there because if the student wants to be able to show how much that text has been written by themselves, how much that's been generated by AI, how much of it may have been cut and pasted from another source, i.e., possible plagiarism issues, DocuMark will highlight the percentage of text that it identifies as falling into those categories. So if you're not sure, or if your institution has rules in terms of only X% of content can be AI generated, only Y% of content can be directly copied from a third-party source, and Z% of content balance must be your own work, then DocuMark will help you to prove that.
Right. And how can people find more about DocuMark, Tony?
Listen, that's dead easy. Just either search DocuMark Inago on Google, or go to the inago.com site to go to the DocuMark page.
Excellent. Thanks for that. And finally, we have the last main story. This is a guest post. Again, it's themed around China, and how it's titled "Guest Post: How the Growth of Chinese Research is Bringing Western Publishing to a Breaking Point." And it's written by Christos Petru. And so there are some very key sort of interesting points that I had not thought of. We are obviously talking about the rapid growth of Chinese research output, and we have covered that in many episodes in the past. So Western publishing is, however, struggling to keep up with the volume of Chinese research that is coming in, and this article highlights the issues such as increased retraction rates in Chinese publications and many other related research integrity issues. So among some of the things, what I found out is that as part of this article is that there is a shortage of editors and reviewers because of this excess, I guess, increased volumes coming in from China, and the representation, despite the increasing Chinese research output that is hitting the submission systems, the representation of Chinese editors in these publishers is not keeping up with that trend, which is
this is so much better. This is so much better than it was.
Yes.
But I mean, I just have to think back when I was working in publishing myself. You'd have certain papers even back then in the physics and material science space where 30, 40, 50% of the papers were written by Chinese authors, but maybe 5%, if you're lucky, of the editorial board, maybe 10% of the reviewers at best were from China. It was still the usual European, US,
right.
East Asian, like Japanese reviewers that were doing all the work.
Right. So this graph, or rather this chart, indicates the different journals and the percentage of Chinese editors and the percentage of Chinese papers. So there's a difference in some of the like 67% difference in the Journal of Colloid and Interference Science. So this is something that, as you said, Tony, things are improving, but we still need to improve or address the balance. I mean, the discrepancy in the two percentages. And the final thing, the final point of the paper is that, or the article is that, this wouldn't sort of stop, as well as we need automations to find things, as in find research integrity issues, for example, because the volumes keep on increasing, and we need human beings, especially editorial and peer review staff, may not be able to keep up with the volumes, and we need solutions, automated solutions with human oversight, to at least help editors and peer reviewers, as well as the rest of the scholarly publishing ecosystem. So
and in a sense, it's kind of one of the reasons why we're developing this peer review assistant platform, is because we appreciate it's becoming increasingly difficult to get reviewers to review papers. So there needs to be some way of being able to at least provide an initial review, and to use that initial review, which can be generated by AI, which you can then share with a second reviewer. Should you need to, and just to show that we've determined there is some value here, or there may not be some value here, but we'd just like you to confirm that. So it takes away a lot of the work,
right,
that the reviewer might have to do.
Yep. All right, ready for quick hits, and you have to say yes.
No. Yes.
All right, three quick hits this time. The first one from Retraction Watch. Springer Nature Psycholinguistics Journal retracts over a dozen articles for authorship and peer review issues. So, what we are talking about are irregularities in peer review and authorship, and these papers were published between 2021 and 2024. So this is another sort of indicator as to why we need automation. So these exclamation points that you're seeing are part of the Get FTR plugin that you're seeing. It is indicating to me, the reader or the user, that these papers have been retracted. So this is a wonderful automation that is so easily and easy to access for me. Just a Get FTR plugin. So we need such automations across the board to find such I guess issues in peer review as well as let's say authorship, and also maybe improve the robustness of the peer review itself by providing a platform which can help the peer reviewers get their reviews done with quality as well as efficiency with the help of AI, right, Tony?
Yeah, although I don't think you need Get FTR necessarily to do that, but
Yeah.
it makes it easier.
Yeah. All right. So the next story is from The Guardian. It is titled CDC Vaccine Report Cites Study That Does Not Exist. So it's a hallucinated citation again, says scientists listed as an author. So the report focus on the study focus on a particular research topic, and the actual study that was cited is different from the study in real world. I think it's partially because of the AI usage in this, and well, it is vaccine related, and we have another sort of angle to dissect in this. But at the same time, the same thing, AI generated content creating inaccuracies, maybe hallucinated references or citations, inaccuracies in real, and human oversight remains paramount, which is why we have passionate about the responsible AI movement, right, Tony?
Yeah, I don't know how long it took for for this fake reference to be identified, but you would hope that a fake reference can be identified early in the process, so it doesn't need to go too far. It can be withdrawn, or at least the author can be made aware of it, because the author himself may not necessarily know that the reference is fake if they're using some AI sources to generate references.
Right.
There needs to be rigor in terms of determining whether those references are real, and that's why things like Inago Reports reference quality checker is so important.
Right. And once again, you can find more about it by directly writing to Tony or visiting our websites and searching for it.
Yeah. And just search for Inago Reports on Google, and you'll go straight to the page.
Excellent. The last story, quick hit, that we have is related to paper mills again. Journal plagued with problematic papers, likely from paper mills, and it pauses submission. So we are talking about a Taylor and Francis journal. It's titled Bioengineered, and the obviously they are suspecting that their submissions are from paper mills, and the journal Taylor and Francis has paused submission to allow themselves to focus to ensure that integrity is maintained in terms of this.
Yeah.
So it's just another sort of indicator. There are so many integrity concerns, and we have most of them are related to AI, which is going to be even more common as and when we go further into the AI assistance era, as I called it.
Yeah.
Things are going to be more frequent, and we need automation to help us.
What we in this episode of podcast of PubShorts, sorry, we've talked about some of the negative aspects of AI. Absolutely, it's not all bad, but there are actors who are trying to gamify the process and create content which is not real, it's not rigorous, it's not accurate, and I think which actually effectively damages the system in the long term. It damages the reputation of the system in the long term.
Right. And which is why, Tony, we've created DocuMark, for example, for AI content generation, for bringing to the awareness of the students as to what is a part of the content that they're creating, how they're creating it.
As I mentioned earlier on.
Yeah. And also the responsible AI movement. You can find out more about it, as Tony mentioned earlier. So this is the end of episode 85, Knives Out. Tony, do you want to plug the PubShorts YouTube playlist?
I can. I think you did at the beginning of the episode, but if you go to go to YouTube and search for Inago PubShorts, you'll see all previous 84 episodes on there. So the 4 days weekends, as KK mentioned at the start of this episode, to watch all the episodes. And we urge you to share, press the stamp the like button, and leave comments about each episode and any ideas you may have for future topics.
Excellent. Thanks, Tony. And that brings us to the end of the episode. And on behalf of the team that helps us supports us to bring such content, and also on behalf of Tony, this is Dr. KK signing off. We will see you in the next episode. Bye, Tony.
See you in the next one.